The Collegian News is brought to you in part by Campus Recreation and Intramural Sports.
University Inn and Suites. Live here, save money.
UT Brownsville offers 19 online programs, 7 masters, 9 bachelors, and 3 graduate certificates. For more information, visit us at utb.edu/online.
Their Learning to Lead Student Leadership Conference will be held on Saturday, April 14th at the Set B Lecture Hall. It will begin at 8:30 till 3 p.m. For more information, please visit utb.edu/studentlife.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Collegian News. I'm Clady Quesada.
And I'm Marlene Rodriguez.
We hope you enjoyed your Easter.
Yes, it's great to have you guys back with us. Brownsville City Commissioners approved a substantial amendment to the fiscal year 2011-2012 one-year action plan. City Hall reporter Samantha Reese fills us in.
The City of Brownsville will use more than $3 million in reprogram federal block grant funds to buy capital equipment, buy a new airport hangar, and rehabilitate a building for affordable housing.
The Stegman Building, an apartment building located at 805 East Tyler Street, will be renovated for affordable multifamily housing and commercial use. Funding, which comes from old and unused community development block and home grants, will also be used to acquire land, buy a fire truck, and improve a park and the Good Neighbor Settlement House soup kitchen. Commissioners approved the amendment to the October 1st, 2011 through September 30th, 2012 one-year action plan during its meeting last Tuesday. Although he voted in favor of the amendment, District 1 Commissioner Ricardo Longoria said the money should be used to improve the city's roads.
Because you took money from the streets. Why is it that at this point of the year that money has not been spent? If I can probably say that for every single member on this commission, streets is our #1 priority.
Planning Director Ben Medina said there is not enough time to start street projects because the fiscal year is already going to end. He said the money that is left over from the rehabilitation projects will go to fix the streets. But before Longoria voiced his concerns, Medina told the commission that there is more than $1 million available for streets.
Several projects, some that have leftover money, some that we will reallocate money when October 1st comes around, or as projects continue to be completed and money is left over from those. The projects that I'm going to mention do not go away. They're still active projects, which is right now they have been not ready to utilize those funds. Some street funding of $1,018,000. We have proposed to hire staff and a sidewalk crew, and that's $487,000. But we do have the money to contract for sidewalks. So the sidewalks or streets, those two will not the city pick up. We have plenty of money to continue.
Mayor Tony Martinez echoed the words of the commissioner by saying street projects are important for the city.
And I think that it's not only a popular refrain, it's a necessary refrain out there. And consequently, what I do, like I've told you before, I think Mr. Kevler and Public Works, it's an issue that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed now before we look at the budget. And we do need to know an outline in the plan of what streets are going to be worked on, when they're going to be worked on, and when they will be finished.
And also our maintenance plan.
For Collegian News, I'm Samantha Reese.
Sydney Brown of R.N. Jones Agency Incorporated interjected midway through the Texas Southwest College Board of Trustees meeting March 22nd to allege illegal activity regarding the awarding of the contract for insurance.
Joe Molina files this report.
All I want to say is that, I'm the other agent on TWIA. What occurred tonight is illegal. The gentleman making the presentation is not licensed for property and casualty. He cannot stand up here and make a presentation to you.
R.N. Jones Agency Inc. has provided UTB TSC with wind and hail coverage for the last 4 years, and TSC administrators recommended that the board renew the contract with the company. However, Board Secretary De La Garza suggested awarding the contract to a local agency.
Because we've done business with them, we're going to retain them. But the fact that we give somebody else an opportunity to prove themselves, and I'm always going to choose local.
Asked about Sidney Brown's allegations, Dino Chavez, CEO of National MGA Insurance Agency, who represents the Climate Agency, which was awarded the contract, told the Collegian on March 23rd,
It's not illegal, Joe. It's not illegal, Joe, simply because as the CEO of the company, I represent many agents, and I represent many agents that have licenses in different things. And the purpose of me being up there is to represent my company in general. And I'm not representing the policy in particular, and that's what I had Mr. Viala with me there for, so that there are any technical questions that I'm not able to answer because I'm not licensed in that particular venue. That's what Mr. Viala was there for.
Trustee De La Garza told the Collegian via telephone interview on March 26.
How could it be illegal? It's not in our bylaws that he can't speak. He spoke as a citizen. The other gentleman could have done the same thing.
For the Collegian News, I'm Joe Molina.
Reporter Michelle Serrano tells us who will lead the Student Government Association next year and which potential mascots receive the most votes.
Garnering half of the 1,856 votes cast, incumbent Student Government Association President Jose Arturo Guerra came off as a solid victor in Senate elections March 29th. While nearly 2,000 student voters participated in the election, only an average of 1,272 actually voted in each category. 14 Senate positions were not filled, with some colleges and officer positions remaining completely vacant of representation for their respective schools' roles. Of those to serve another term in current and new roles are Carla Lozoya, the new Vice President of Administration, Erica Rangel, the new Vice President of Public Relations, Pedro Rangel, re-elected Vice President of Accounting and Finance, and Elizabeth Ayala, Vice President of Historical Archives. According to the UT system, the mascot search's top choices were disqualified for potential trademark issues. The final 5 choices are the ocelot, the jaguarundi, the vaqueros, the bull sharks, and the parrot. A poll is planned for April 18th and 19th with Rio Grande Valley School Districts, UTB alumni, and the community invited to participate. The results of the poll will be announced to students during a mascot forum planned on April 20th, with the students finally deciding who or what the UTB mascot will be April 23rd through the 25th. For the Collegian News, I'm Michelle Serrano.
Clady, I'm curious, who do you want the mascot to be?
I actually chose vaqueros.
Oh, why?
I just think that it's very significant to where we at, the location, our history, the university's history, so I thought vaqueros would go great as a mascot.
That is true, but I actually wanted to be ocelots because there's ocelots in my backyard. There's not really a huge reason, but I've seen an ocelot in real life. So.
Every week, the Collegian goes around campus and asks students what issues they have right now.
Here's what they had to say on What's Your Beef. What issue do you have at campus right now?
The major issue right now seems to just be the split between UTB and TSC. That, along with the registrational issues that brings up with campus registration and everything, that there's a lot of confusion, I would think, between students. That which class will I take to get credit in which school?
What issue do you have at campus right now?
Basically is going to Barnes & Noble every time just to buy a Scantron or a pencil, and I really wish they had vending machines anywhere in campus so we don't have to walk to one location every time and be late for class just to buy a simple Scantron.
What issue do you have at campus right now?
I had an issue about the transition from high school to the college because it was kind of hard not having like any friends on the classes and to not be sure to what to do, to how to study or how to go ahead and do the homework and all the stuff. It was kind of hard. Right?
What issue do you have at campus right now?
My issue is that there's not enough tutors for psychology. Yeah.
And what do you wish campus, why do you need more tutoring?
Because sometimes I struggle with classes and a lot of friends also do. And with a little more help, we can like better our grades and all this stuff.
2 UTB TSC and 8 high school students have been accepted into UT Browns' early medical school acceptance program, which guarantees automatic admission into the University of Texas Medical Branch, Galveston. My co-anchor Marlene Rodriguez tells us more about this exciting program.
Lisa Kane, who serves on the admissions board for UTMB, came to the UTB TSC campus on March 28th to interview students for the program. MSAP is a 6-partner university program that targets graduating high school juniors and seniors.
Who have participated in the MSAP program. They're very intelligent, hard working, very dedicated, and also at UTMB we believe in diversity. And UT Brownsville is one of the institutions where we can recruit students to indicate and to show that we can bring in a diverse population of students.
Students then must meet criteria to be automatically accepted to UTMB after completing a 4-year degree from the home university. UTB TSC sophomore biology major Eduardo Ramos is one of the students in the MSAP program.
I applied when I was in high school and I got interviewed during high school, and since I came into UTB, I've been in the program.
Along with MSAP, the university's Office of Health Profession Careers, which serves 600 students a year, also plays a role in students pursuing their medical school goals. Pre-Med and MSAP director Gustavo Stern organizes programs that provide 350 hours of enrichment programs to give students foundations so they can improve their GPA, MCAT test scores, and prepare for medical school.
I go to high schools, tell students about the program. This is a unique opportunity for students to gain access to a medical school like Galveston. That is a very prestigious medical school.
Collegian News, I'm Marlene Rodriguez.
And now we have sports editor Valerie Secrets with this week's Sports Roundup. Valerie?
Thanks, Marlene. This week on Sports Roundup, the women's golf team placed 7th out of 14 teams, March 26th and 27th at the Bluebonnet Classic in Fort Worth. Here's what happened. The UTB TSC women's golf team placed 7th out of 14 teams in the Bluebonnet Classic golf tournament on March 26th and 27th in Fort Worth. The team finished with a 682 score to put them in 7th place over Southwestern Kansas and Northwood University, who are also opponents in the NAIA National Championship Qualifier Tournament in Oklahoma City. After an opening round 79 score, Eleni Muro fired 82 March 27th to finish with a 161 to lead the Scorpions. Crystal Garza, who shot 82 on March 26th, shot an 87 on day 2 to finish with a 169. Other scores were Veronica Vasquez 87-87 for a 174, Elizabeth Garza 89-90 for a 179, and Kat Lira 96-89 for a 185. In the hope of making it to nationals in Greenville, Tennessee, the women will first compete in the conference tournament, which will be held in Oklahoma City April 23rd and 24th. The UTB TSC men's golf team will also travel to Round Rock to compete in its conference tournament of this spring, April 16th and 17th. With one goal in mind, the team hopes to make it to the national tournament in Salem, Oregon in May. Also in sports, the UTB TSC baseball team has been on the road since March 24th. Next up for the Scorpions is a 4-game series against Louisiana State University Shreveport April 13th and 14th. Last week, the team faced off against the University of Houston-Victoria, where they split a 4-game series. Here's the play. The UTB TSC baseball team, on the road since March 24th, goes up against the Louisiana State University Shreveport Pilots in a 3-game series this weekend. The series starts off with a doubleheader at 4 p.m. Friday on Pilot Field, followed by a single game at 1 p.m. Saturday. After 2 losses against the UT Pan American Broncs earlier this season, the Scorpions hope to come out with a win in their last game versus the Broncs at 7 p.m. April 17th at the Edinburgh Baseball Stadium. Last weekend, the Texas College Steers hosted a 3-game series versus the Scorpions in Tyler. The teams faced off in a doubleheader that was scheduled to begin at 1 p.m. Friday and a 3rd game on Saturday that started at noon. Results were not available at press time. On March 30th and 31st, the Scorpions split a 4-game series with the University of Houston-Victoria. In a doubleheader the first day, the University of Houston-Victoria took the first game 7-1. In Game 2, the Scorpions tired out the Jaguars and claimed the victory 9-7. The two teams split the doubleheader once again on March 31st, with the Jaguars taking the first game 4-3. And in the final game of the series, the Scorpions came together and closed the deal with an 8-3 triumph over UHV. The most important tournament of the season for the Scorpions will take place after their final home game series April 20th and 21st against the University of the Southwest. The